30% bei mein Glauben, die amerikanischen Leute sind verrückt. Auch glauben Sie mir, Nazis von Deutschland hat in Amerika gekommen und bleibt hier in den Vereinigten Staaten von Amerika. Glauben Sie mir. Hier ist ein Buch. Ich sprach auf Englisch. A Pure Blood. I believe that the Nazis are here in America. This is a book about the Lebensborn from Nazi Germany. The eugenics movement began in America, for the most part, and there have been plans, I believe, to destroy part of America and many of the minorities. The minority people in America are marked for destruction. That's my belief. And it's caused by a small percent of Nazis that came from Germany after World War II. I have a lot of books on genetics. This is a book called The Genetic Takeover and the Mineral Origins of Life. I'm not going to post these books in still pictures because I just don't have time and because the economy is so bad. Listen to me. I do not blame the president. I blame a few greedy, selfish people in America. And no, they do not belong to certain ethnic or religious groups. That's not where I'm coming from. The problems in America are with extreme capitalism, extreme disregard for human life and human feelings. I've said this in past posts, both on my blog and on my Facebook, that disregard for human feelings and natural human sentiments is almost as if it came from off planet, as if it almost came from some other world. And I keep going back to mentioning demons. That's a metaphor. That's a euphemism that I use for things that I don't understand. In ancient Greece, and in some beliefs in ancient Rome, a demon was a personal spirit or guide that used to give information. Something like in America, in olden times, they used to refer to a little devil on your shoulder, whispering in your ear. That, of course, is just a metaphor for the subconscious mind. There's no way in these videos I can cover everything. These are not documentaries. These videos are supposed to be autobiography of my life experience because I feel death approaching. I still might live a few more years, but my health is failing relative to the way it was when I was younger. So I might not be able to post too many videos in the future. But I want to get this all documented with quotation marks around the word document. I just want to record it so we can hint or we can guess at what's going on in our society. There are people, and a minority, and I'm not referring to ethnic minorities, I'm just referring generally to people who are selfish and greedy and who have lost their way morally. I have my beliefs about why they lost their way morally, and I am not a homophobe. That would be sheer hypocrisy on my part. But the origins, I believe, of some of this lack of feeling, this lack of human emotion, comes from sexual frustration. And I use this book, Citizen Cohen, The Life and Times of Roy Cohen, as an example of what I mean. My apologies that I have to hint and I have to circumvent what I really mean. Because if I said exactly what I mean, too many people would be offended and hurt. I don't want to hurt people's feelings. That's not the point. Even though I believe people have gone out of their way to hurt my feelings. If you get a chance, read this book, if it's still available. It's called Citizen Cohen, The Life and Times of Roy Cohen. And again, I repeat, I am not a homophobe. But what I mean is in this book. There are all sorts of prejudices and there are all sorts of biases. And again, I'm just hinting around because I do not want to hurt people's feelings. That's not the point. I'm not malicious. I'm not mean-spirited. On the contrary, I want everybody within possible reality to be happy and to have mature adult lives if they're adults, and to have happy childhood if they're children, without vulgarity and without obscenity, by my definition, not some twisted moralism. The whole premise of my morality is not based on the great monotheistic religions. And I say great monotheistic religions with deep respect, because I was brought up in the Christian tradition, with again quotes around Christianity. And I have deep respect for Islam, and I have deep respect for Judaism. I do not blame Muslims or the Jewish people for any problems. I do not blame them for any problems in the world. The problems in the world are our personal problems and the way we interpret the world. That is good basic sociology. That is good basic psychology and psychiatry. Your problems are your problems and the way you interpret the world. And though I cannot say that reincarnation is real in any absolute sense, I use reincarnation and karma as a moral guide for everything that I do, even though I am willing to admit that it may not be real. Reincarnation may not be real in an existential sense. This is a book on reincarnation and immortality by Rudolf Steiner. Rudolf Steiner has a long history. He's long since been dead. And I would like to go into more detail, but there simply is not time. And I will not post this book for now on the blog and on this video, because there just simply is not enough time. But I wanted to mention Rudolf Steiner because I feel he was going in the right direction in his moral grounding. This is guerrilla television, and I value this book, I treasure this book, because there's an article in it, which I probably cannot find right now. I should have put a tag in the book, and I'm wasting valuable video space. But a lot of these videos are extemporaneous, and I am not prepared. Here, this is the page I wanted to show you. Brody TV song, I Got Billions. It's from the Daily News, January 19, 1970. Brody claimed to be the son of a billionaire, and he was giving out $100 bills on the street. And this is for those people who think they can control society, whether in Europe or the United States. You never know if your son or your daughter might have erratic behavior and act against your best interest. And this is something very important, that if reincarnation is true, I might come back as your son, your daughter, or your wife. There is no gender in reincarnation. You can be reincarnated in any gender. And I might act what you regard as irresponsible and hand out $100 bills on the street. Yes, Brody said he was going to hand out $100 bills on the street. Can you imagine what commotion that would cause in any big city? This is a small picture. It says Brody sets off a gold rush. It's a story from the Daily News about this guy, Brody, planning to hand out $100 bills in the big cities in America. Erratic behavior? That's for those people who think they can control society. You never know what your daughter, your wife, or your son might do in the future. Or if you happen to have that peculiar predilection, your lover might stab you in the back, metaphorically. That's a euphemism for being a traitor to your cause. You think you're so smart? If reincarnation is true, and if karma is true, I do not know that, but if it is, you're in for a surprise. I'm not going to post this book either, because there's simply not enough time or not enough space. The Self-Aware Universe, How Consciousness Creates the Material World. Think about it. You people who think you can control the world through your money, through your wealth, through your power. Think about the possibility of reincarnation and karma and how it might come back to hurt you. I don't know if it's true. Because you people, the elite, who think they're so important in controlling the world, and I have quotes around those words, because I don't know who I'm talking to, have removed all the tools that could justify and prove that reincarnation is true. And there are empirical ways, scientific ways, of proving whether reincarnation and karma are true. But every time somebody sets up a program or a scientific experiment to prove the truth of reincarnation and karma. Some group of people remove the very plans that could prove the existence of karma and reincarnation. I don't know who I'm talking to, so I don't know who this group is. And it verges on paranoia, I admit that. So I'm on my way to mental health, right? If I can understand that my suspicions are not grounded in fact or reality, that I'm simply making all this up, that's for you to decide whether you think I'm sane or not. Yeah. One more thing. The Chinese, and I admit some people pronounce this differently now, but in the 60s when I was introduced to the I Ching, the Book of Changes, it was pronounced I Ching, though today people pronounce it differently. It's an ancient Chinese oracle or divination to find the future. It has an encoding, an encryption. It's like a secret code book that has diagrams of what might be your future. And again, just like reincarnation and karma, I do not know if the I Ching has any foundation in reality. But there are many smarter people than me who believe in the I Ching. Now, in the present, and in the past, people have used the I Ching as a way of finding their future, a way of fortune telling. I don't know that it's true. But if reality, if ontology, which simply means reality, has a synchronicity, then the I Ching might have a grounding, might have some kind of fact in reality. Admit, this is all guesswork. But the guesses are founded on very good circumstantial evidence, and I, in my little thoughts, defer to people who are smarter than I, who have used the I Ching to tell the future. Like I said, this is simply an autobiography. I discovered the I Ching by popular press, by popular television and radio in the 1960s. During the Great Revolution, the Civil Rights Revolution, the anti-Vietnam Revolution, and the environmental movement, a lot of hippies used the I Ching to tell the future. And it was a very popular book at the time. And I still hold it with great respect. You might want to check it out. You can pick it up in almost any bookstore or order it on the internet. So, for now, this is the end of this autobiography. And I hope you found it interesting, if not amusing. I grieve for the United States. I do not blame the president for anything that goes on. And I do not blame minority groups for anything that goes on. I, through the way I interpret the world, through my eyes, my ears, my brain, and I'm pausing on purpose for you to think about what I'm saying. These pauses are not because I don't know what I'm going to say. They're pauses for you to think about what I'm saying. I interpret the world as you interpret the world, through your eyes and through your ears and through your brain. No minority group, whether in London, New York, or Hollywood, causes the problems that we have. You, the way you interpret the world, are the cause of our problems. I am the cause of my own problems. That takes a lot to think about. I admit that there are external causes. I'm not saying that there aren't individual people who cause problems. That would be silly for me to say that individual people do not cause problems. But their problems are their problems. And your problems are your problems. And my problems are my problems. And if that isn't the silliest thing I've ever said, watch future videos, because I'll probably say a lot of dumb things. Enjoy what you can. Have a good day. And thanks for watching this video.